Okay, I have some instructions for you for lesson 3. Let's start with the assignment let's start with views in RootsMagic. So for this one, just so there isn't any confusion, there is an example of how each of your views that you're showing us for this assignment should look. So it should look like this when you submit this. This is an example of the pedigree view. So what you're going to do for this assignment is you're going to open the link in RootsMagic database, and right now that link doesn't work when I'm making this video, but hopefully the fix will be in and it will be available to you, and if it's not, by the time you see this video, I will have it out there on the announcement page as an attachment for you. So when you open a RootsMagic database, you always want to open it from inside RootsMagic. I have my RootsMagic already open here, so to open this, first of all I would download it. So I would download it by clicking on this link. The download would go to my download folder, and so I would have to go from there and save it someplace else or just leave it there, doesn't matter. But when I'm back in RootsMagic, I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'm going to open it using the Windows Open File dialog, and then I'm going to go out to my download folder and find it there. So you can see here it is. And so I would click on that and say open, and it will open. Oh, there are lots of things that have opened. Let's just look at one of them. Sorry about that. So here we have what we call the Lincoln database. And the important thing for you to remember about this is that this assignment is not about Abraham Lincoln. It is about the views in RootsMagic. So we're going to be talking about the different views. For instance, this is the pedigree view. And so you don't have to tell us about the pedigree view, but you do have to tell us about the family view, the descendant view, the people view, and the timeline view, which you will not be able to see, at least not from here, unless you have 7.0. So that's why you need it for this course. So let's pretend that you are going to do the pedigree view. They're giving us an example of what that would be like right here. We would give an overall explanation of the pedigree view. It displays the direct line ancestry of the primary person for 5 to 6 generations. And if you come back and look at it, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I could set it to 6 if I wanted to right here. So visible relationships. This displays the parents of the primary person and the parents' parents and so on for 5 or 6 generations. Included events and for whom. This displays the birth and death dates for the first few generations. So let's take a look at that. You have your birth and your death dates that are displayed here. At least you have it in the in the people that you can see in the first 2 or 3 generations. So let's see. Organization of events and relationships. Events are below the names for the first few generations, and moving from left to right, you move from the primary individual back down their ancestral lines. So from left to right is how this moves. Other key features, you can adjust the view to show 5 or 6 generations. And there's the adjustment right here. So that's how you would explain this view for this assignment. You are going to be doing that same thing with the family view, the descendant view, the people view, and the timeline view. So you will have each of these headers here in your bulleted list, and then you will fill it in almost exactly like this as far as the amount of information that I need. It's going to be short like this. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. But I want to know what you're seeing. And so when you go to the family view, you're going to fill out all those same bullets, and you're going to say, well, the family view shows the father and the mother, and the father's parents' names and the mother's parents' names. It shows the marriage date of the main couple, of the person who's highlighted, and his spouse, their marriage date, and their birth, marriage, and death dates, or birth and death dates besides that. And then you're going to tell me what information is down here. What do you see as far as events go here? Visible relationships, where we're seeing parents, we're seeing grandparents of the children, whatever. We're seeing children of the primary person that is being displayed, and so that's what you're going to tell me. And you're going to do the same thing for each of these other views. What about this view? What are you seeing there? What events do you see? How are relationships shown? Same with the people view. You're going to tell me the same thing. The web search is the only one that we're not going to be using, and then you're going to tell me something about the timeline view. Well, how do you know all these things? Well, you can tell just by looking at it, but it's also because you will have watched some of these videos about getting started and creating databases and navigating in RootsMagic, and that's how you'll be able to tell me what these things do. For instance, what does the timeline view do? What is it capable of? You won't know just by looking at this. You'll have to watch the video and take some notes. Okay, let's look at built-in research tools for a minute here. In this assignment, there are lots of features for RootsMagic, and we will have a discussion board where we talk about all the different features in RootsMagic. But for this particular assignment, we are just going to be discussing 3 items, 3 built-in research tools. Research logs, that would be the built-in research log in RootsMagic. The built-in to-do lists and the built-in timeline features. Okay, so you'll learn about those in this video. And so now they're saying download the attached Lincoln database. It's the same one, all right? And you're going to explore one of the built-in research tools discussed in the video, and consider how that tool could be helpful when you're conducting research on this database, and then write about your experience, and then learn more from your classmates. So your initial post is due, I'm hoping this is still Wednesday. Yeah, they've got it right now, so that's good. Your initial post would be due Wednesday, and it must include which RootsMagic tool you explored. Please put it in the title of your post. When you start a new thread, in the title of that thread, put the name of the research tool that you explored, and the main purpose of the tool, and what you like about the tool and why, and what features you find particularly interesting. And share some ideas about how you would implement this. Now, some of this seems pretty basic, kind of primary answers here, but it's really important that you answer all of these in your dialogue, so that when I'm grading you, I will know that you actually did explore these and learn about all the different information. So I'll be able to tell if you've explored these by your answers. Does that make sense? And so if you say, well, I explored the research log, and it's good because you can record where you've searched, and I think that's great, and everybody should do that, and I'll probably use one every time I research. That's not what I'm looking for here. Okay, does that make sense? So here's an example about exploring the address list. It's showing you how you would do this assignment if you were exploring the address list, which you're not. You're exploring one of the other 3. So, but here's how you would post this. I explored the address list, and see how you have the 4 different bullets here. The main purpose of this feature is to document the addresses of living people within your tree. It's going to tell you're going to tell us what you learned when you explored this. Some of the details that you found that were very interesting. I like having a place where I can store this information. on and on. My favorite aspect of the address list was the ability to record a primary and secondary address so I can capture additional information, blah, blah, blah. If I used this in my research, it would primarily be to document websites about deceased individuals. So that's an example of how you should post. Only you will be posting about the research log, the built-in research log that's in RootsMagic, the built-in to-do or the built-in timeline. Okay, so just to help you out and show you some of these items, let's go here. So you have your lists, your research managers right here, and that is where you would find your built-in research log. Here is your to-do list. Okay, and so for your timeline, you would go to Reports, Lists, and then scroll down to Timeline. Okay, so beside these assignments that I've shown you, there are a few activities that you'll be doing. Some of them are like just little mini quizzes worth 5 points, but they're going to train you in some of the views that you will be using in RootsMagic, and some of those items will be on the midterm and some of them will be on the quiz at the end of the week. And so you do want to make sure that you understand each of these activities. If you are getting something wrong, you want to make a note of it, keep a log of it, keep track of the correct answers so that you can use that to study for the quiz at the end of the week. And then the terms and definitions are always important as well, so knowing the meaning of the different terms and definitions. So, and here's a list of those. We have a few minutes left on the recording, so I'll just go through these. This is important. You're going to be using facts a lot this week and next week, and a lot of times you'll see in an assignment where it says attach the image to the fact. Okay, so it'll say attach the census image to the census fact. In RootsMagic, we create a lot of facts, and so let me get mine back up and show it to you here. And there's an example of this in my notes to you as well. I've got you know an example as I can't work and think an example of someone's individual sheet showing all of the different facts. So here's an example. For instance, here's my fourth great grandfather, I think it is, John Knight, and here are some facts. You can actually create facts in RootsMagic if you don't have something, you know, for what you would like to display on this timeline here that's created automatically. Then you can create it. You can see that I've created this one called Wagon Train to say that he was 16 years old when he came across the plain on a wagon train, blah blah blah. That kind of thing. But these are facts, and so when we're saying add an image to a fact, this is what we're talking about. It's very easy to add a fact. You just come up here to add fact, and then you scroll down to census, which you will use a lot. You'll notice there is census, or there is census family. Census family just attaches that census to the spouse, and we will be using that in some of the assignments where you're going to be using census family. So here we have census. You can see that I have a source and some notes. This column is for notes, this column is for source, and this column is for images. So here's probably a census image there, the 1870 census images that I have attached, and I have notes here for the 1900 census. I make notes to myself. That's what I do, and they're all here, so I know exactly what I found on each of my family members. So okay, let's see. Okay, let me throw one more thing in here. If you're asked to submit a database to me, you're going to go to File, Copy, and you're going to make a copy. You title it here, put it on your desktop so you can easily find it again. That's what you do.